A new reserve list is being created for a new generation of players. Wizards of the Coast has had years to work on and perfect a new reserve list, and we, the player base, we help them do it. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks for hanging out with me on the channel today as we talk about this creation of a new reserve list. When you think about the age of Magic the Gathering, going back to 1993 when the game was first created, most of that at the time were just playing the game to play it. I myself included had a great time playing Magic the Gathering at tables with all my friends around me and trading cards back and forth and having a good time. It was years later that we started to recognize the value of those cards. When you started looking at a Black Lotus, you didn't just see a great card that gave you 3 mana. You looked at the dollar value attached to that card. When Beta Unlimited came along, we did the exact same thing with those formats and sets. We recognized the Power 9 for what it was, which is why a lot of those cards are actually in pretty good shape, comparatively speaking, to lower end reserve list cards we have today. But don't think that Wizards of the Coast ignored this or didn't see it happen. They watched that evolution of the game going from a collectible trading card game with some nominal value to high-priced $1 million cards. And Wizards of the Coast has probably, I have no official, background on that, but I would guess they are chomping at the bit to get some of those post dollars. After a set comes out, they're wondering, how can we keep generating income from our products? How can we make sure that we get as much bang for our buck as we can, since we're not directly involved in the secondary market? And that's when they started giving us little inventions, little creations that they inserted into their sets. When you start looking back over the years, depending on when you joined as a player, you might be going back to Battle for Zendikar with the Expedition lands, 2014, right? Then Wizards pumped things up. They gave us Kaladesh, gave us the inventions. You see where I'm going with this? Hey, we had Amonkhet as well. Then they kind of kiboshed things with the Ixalan block. And then we came back with things like Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. I'll give you some examples here in the video, don't worry. But Wizards of the Coast has had us, the player base, to buy these cards, look at our posts and comments based on what they put out. We are a mass marketing tool waiting to happen because they are catering this product to us. And when you look at something that is collectible versus something that is antique, a collectible by its nature does not have a lot of liquidity. It's something you collect because you enjoy having it. The value is based on how many are around it, how popular that particular game or toy or object is. Magic the Gathering is a very popular game. And there are lots of amazing cards out there that apparently are getting pretty hard to get in some cases. Think about how often you might see now a Battle for Zendikar Expedition land in somebody's deck. How many are for sale on certain websites? You'd be surprised. Check how many Kaladesh inventions of Sol Ring are out there for sale. Go ahead on TCG Player. Pause my video and take a look. Oh wait, I'll save you the trouble. There are none. 1 or 2 on eBay. They are really hard to come by. Why is that? Because as the player base grows and people collect these things, they are harder to get. And as Wizards has gone along inserting these things and tracking the sales and seeing how we, the player base, react to this, they basically got thumbs up from us. They got a double thumbs up and said, go for it. And they've gone from there. So take a look at this. All right. Here we have our new collector booster for Double Masters 2022. Not a bad price, by the way. $228.99 on Amazon. It's much better than what I can get here in Canada. That's why I highlighted it for you guys. And it's only 4 packs. We know there's a lot less chaff in there, but look at that bottom part here. 6 borderless cards in every pack. Textured foil cards in 3% of boosters. 3%. It's pretty low, right? It's not very likely. It kind of reminds me of Battle for Zendikar Expeditions, which was every few packs. Oath of the Gatewatch seemed a little more common than that, but not all the cards were as desirable. Remember that. Some of these cards will be bigger hits than others, but will they be collectible? They will be, and they will be valuable. Wizards has recognized that we, the player base, and the newer generation of players coming in, We want that chase card. We want that collectability. But they don't have to make it a chase card. They don't have to copy or replicate reserve list cards like a Mox, right? Jeweled Lotus. We thought we'd get a Jeweled Mox. I was really hoping. They don't have to replicate that. They just have to make the card decent, powerful even, maybe not overpowered, but a powerful card that has a very low and improbable print run to get that collectability up. That's all they have to do. And we've given them the green light to do so. When you take a look, and we saw these beautiful neon ink cards, which a lot of people laughed at, myself included. I'm not going to go out and pay $1,800 for a red neon ink. But the funny thing is, if I got a red neon ink, would I trade it is the question. Considering how rare and hard they are to find, I might be tempted now to hold on to it. I am a reserve list collector. I love the original reserve list, but I also like to collect things. Most of you figured that out by now just by looking at my backdrop, right? And I asked myself, is it collectible? I don't know if the value will stay that high. But we have examples of that coming. Don't worry. It's going to stay collectible. And it's going to hold a fairly high dollar volume because most players who get these cards and the few players who actually have paid for them aren't going to let it go for less than what they paid. So the value will stay high just based on the scarcity of the product. Now, when you're taking a look here, here's a 2016 invention of Soul Ring from Kaladesh. That thing is still going for $1,250 and is actually climbing in price. Slow and steady. There's the red neon ink. You can get that for $1,800. These are both Canadian prices, by the way. $1,800 Canadian, if you could find one. Okay? Because it's probably more scarce than that Kaladesh invention. But that's Kaladesh invention is only 6 years old. That red neon ink is this year. How do you extrapolate that value going out now? How many years are going to go by with no reprints, nothing happening? I mean, Wizards could reprint it, but they don't need to right now. They can let that collectability grow. They can let that value carry itself forward and say, look how amazing that Kaladesh invention is. Remember when they were $200, then $400, then $600, and up and up? How about the red neon ink? They can reprint, but it does not mean they will reprint. Or will they reprint in the same manner they're doing now? They may reprint that card, but not with neon ink. They can do whatever they want. They are building a new reserve list. They are creating it for us, the player base, with all kinds of funkiness and awesomeness that we can enjoy and carry forward. And they don't have to replicate the reserve list cards, which have their own value. Man, these things are going to be museum quality pieces. The original reserve list will be unaffected by this. But it might be in tandem with it. It might be parallel. Because if I trade in a red neon ink and get $1,800, that's enough to buy a few dual lands, isn't it? That value is there. The stores will recognize the player base that wants to collect these things, and the newer player base coming in will probably want the flashier new cards and the super ultra rarity that goes along with some of these things. And the older player base or the more established player base from back in the day who wants to collect the old ones will still buy it. And there'll be crossovers of player segments on both sides because I still buy the new stuff, and I know new players who go ahead and they buy the old cards. So don't think it's a one-way street. It's not. The old reserve list still not going anywhere. If anything, those values will continue to climb because they will be unreplicated. But the new stuff coming up, like think about what Wizards could do. The reserve list has 572 cards. The value's from 70 cents to $1 million or higher for a beautiful Black Lotus. It's alpha and just, perfect. Let's just say right now there are 50 cards or more on this non-reserve list that they're making. But the values keep growing with each new set. With each more difficult card they have put in there, these unknown chase cards, the value continues to grow. 1,500 all the way up to $1,500, and they've got years to go. Black Lotuses took a decade before they really started jumping in value. I mean, these are still in their infancy. When you look at Kaladesh inventions from 2016 or Amonkhet 2017, look at the years these products will have to grow. How many more decades they will go along, and their scarcity will only continue to go up in value. Driven by the fact that they are hard to find. And cards like the neon ink, are going to join them. Serialized cards, they are coming. They'll be in the exact same boat. It's not an official reserve list from Wizards of the Coast, but they're not reprinting these things so far. So I think it stands to reason at this point that this is the new reserve list. These cards are not coming back around anytime soon. There might be different versions printed, but not with that same artwork, not with that same border, because Wizards has now hit on a formula that we, the player base, accept and endorse. Because we seek these things out, and the box opening videos that show people going crazy for these things, and the comments you see in those comment sections, the posts on the Reddit boards, it is all driving everything in one direction. We're enjoying what we see. Wizards is having a great time making some money. The secondary market is healthy with these products and knows that they're enjoyable for the player base. And it doesn't affect original reserve list cards, so you're not getting old nostalgic players like myself upset. This is a good win-win for everybody going forward. And I think Wizards is going to keep this up. I think we're in for a fantastic time seeing what comes up in the future with all of these amazing products and the way Wizards is doing it. And I'd like to mention, if you watched my video yesterday, and I've seen a few more now, Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate. Remember, that's a big set, folks. I'll have a video coming up on that again, but it looks like there's a lot of difficulty in pulling a decent amount of mythics just because the set is huge and you can't buy a lot of packs all at once. The most you can get is 24 in a draft, and most times I'm only seeing 2 mythics a box. I'd love to hear your comments on what you think about all this stuff going forward. Put that stuff down in that comment section. Share your opinion with this channel because I'd like to know what's going on. I'd like to see what people are thinking. Guys, awesome times to be had with a new version of the reserve list. I think it's a win-win for everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in today. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow for another episode. This is MTG Moxman. Thanks for hanging out. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up. And if you're a new subscriber, thanks for joining in. All my regular viewers out there, you guys are awesome. I'll see you tomorrow. And of course, a big shout out to all the fantastic patrons on the channel. You guys are awesome. You make these videos possible each and every day. Guys, I can't thank you for that support enough. Have an awesome day. Well, hello to the special people who make it to the end of the video. You guys know you're special because you're here. 95+% never make it this far in my videos. It's always reflected. You can see in the time how far people watch. And you guys, you know to put those comments that I mentioned. But guess what? We're here for this. We're here for this. Can you believe it? Can you believe that? 990 subs to go. Thanks, guys. Like, this means a lot. I know it's weird. You gotta have goals in life. When you can see that goal, it's not so far away. I mean, it still could be far. It's still a lot. But when you see it, you're like, that's awesome. New subscribers, old subscribers, people who watch every day, new viewers coming in, special people at the end of the video. All you guys make this possible. I'm just a person spouting off sometimes with ideas and thoughts I have in my head. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. I don't know what else to say about that. So we're over 9K at this point. That's right. Over 9K. Don't worry, I still got my coffee here. I'm still using the old type of mug I always use on Saturdays. Guzzling some coffee to keep myself awake. Nothing is going in the 10K bin now. Done. The rules for the 9K video will come out. I'm letting you guys know because you're the special people at the end, and I'll probably post something on my Patreon. The video for the 9K explains the rules of what will happen for the 9K. For the 10K, but the 9K video is not the time to order things. You'll see it in the video when you see it. You'll see it in the video when you see it. That's just, I don't know, that doesn't sound right. When you watch the video, if you read it through properly, you'll see you're not ordering anything yet. But I'm giving people the opportunity to get their ducks in a row in case they want to get something. When we're about 300 subscribers away, give or take, somewhere in there. If you're on my Patreon, you'll get a post up. When it gets that close, you will know. Because I will post up a video saying, hey, just so you know, video's going to go live tomorrow. That's the ordering day to put your orders in for stuff you want to get or things that I am doing for the channel. That is your opportunity. So just pay attention to the video. You guys will be fine. It'll probably be coming out the next couple of days, either as a regular video or a bonus video because I have a lot of stuff I want to get done and get out. It's awesome, guys. I just want to say thank you again to all you people out there, because a few times I felt like giving up, and a lot of you guys gave me that encouragement, so thank you. And to some of the bigger YouTubers out there who definitely don't watch to the end of the channel and sent those nice emails and comments, thank you guys. You know, those little words of encouragement and stuff really, you know, they help out. So thanks again. You guys are awesome. Can't wait to do the 9K video, and we will have a conversation at that point for sure. All right, guys, have an awesome day. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Yeah.